Hey everybody, Richard here, and welcome to the Nerd Life. It is time, once again, for a journey into Forgeworld. And that's right, we're still working on the big god machine, the Warlord Titan. So, we are going to go table down in a minute. I'm just going to kind of show you where I've been at, what I'm working on, what route I'm going. It's going to be a long build. It's going to take several episodes and be, yeah. Sometimes I'll come on and show you what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and do it in front of you. Other times I'll just show you what I did and we'll talk about it and kind of my plans for the future of it. Yeah, I've already started working on the storyline of this Titan Legion, where they're from and their whole Forge world that they come from. Giving them, again, you know me, I got to do my homebrew stuff. Got to come up with my own business, my own thingies. Got sideways kids up above my head looking at me. Yeah, so let's go table down and check it out and see what we're at. All right, guys, here we are, table down, and this is my stuff I'm working on. Several things I'm going to show you. Who likes a good thigh? Who's that? We got thigh people out there? That is a thigh, sir. And madam, whoever's watching. It's massive. It's massive. So, I did stuff without you guys. I'm sorry. Forgive me. But I put on these little posts here on both sides. These are the calf areas of it. And then I mounted the top section on. Oh, and I drilled a hole there. You'll find out what that's for in a little bit. So show the one I didn't drill a hole on. Mounted the top on. There's a pin going in through there. I don't know what kind of pin I used. Honestly, I think for this, I just use a small, regular, normal pin. Most of this is going to get brass rods. I got a bag of them. Several of them I'm using. Oh, hello. Hi there. My wife just got some leggings in, and boy, her butt doesn't quit. Ruff. Yes, I'm objectifying my wife. I'm sorry, but she is gorgeous. Anyway, back to these thighs and legs. I'll look at hers later. Yeah, so I mounted this in there, and then it has a lot of gaps, and I'm still got to clean them up a little bit. But I use this stuff here. And honestly, I like it a lot. I got it from Spiky Bits. Rob Bear over there showed you using it him using it one time. I like how it looks. The point is really fine. So you can kind of get it into the crack and then kind of fill it up so it fills the entire crack. Even if it comes out a little bit, it's no big deal because when it dries, it's like a plasticky, well, like it says, it's a plastic resin. Oh, no, that's not plastic resin. Plastic putty. Anyway, it's a plastic putty. I thought it said something. Oh, there it is. It says acrylic resin. I knew it said resin on there somewhere. But anyway, it fills it out really nice. And then you can just go back with an X-Acto knife and clean it up. It's a little hard in the gaps, in the little tight nooks right there. So I got a little finer, use one of my sculpting tools. Get in there and kind of scrape it and clean it off and smooth it all out. But it's really good. It's really good. I need to do that to all the guns. I did build all the weapons. I'll show you those later in like probably next week's video. What I'm going to work on now is I'm working on the legs. Now, typically most people start from the feet and they work up. I start with the legs because then I can get my pose down that I want. And this is your typical, you know, jointed pose, so I can figure out how I want to do this. And then eventually I'll mount it on the foot plate, which is this. And then I'll have to run a rod from the bottom of the foot up into here. And I will go pretty deep on it too. I want to make sure it gets a good chunk of resin is around that rod, that brass rod. I'm thinking for that I'll use ones about this size. I don't know if I have a drill bit that's even that deep. I may have to shorten this a little bit, but enough to where it fills in there and it actually holds it good, man. So, in building the legs, I also have to work on the crotch of the God Machine. That's right. This is the God Machine's crotch. I'm holding it in my hand. I glued on the nubbins, the little leg bits, which the thighs will go on. Like this. And then, of course, I'll have to figure out my pose, like how it's going to be. A lot of people do it standing up, right, straight. I've seen some really dynamic poses, as dynamic as you can get with the big beast. But I haven't, like, stomping on something. So I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to pose that. That's why I'm doing the basics. Oh, goldfish fell everywhere. So how I got these to stick on the same way. Big brass rod. That rod goes all the way from this side straight across to this side. I drilled straight through. It's got a 2-part epoxy putty. I didn't bring it over here to show you. But it's the Gorilla Glue epoxy. That stuff is awesome. I love it. I use it on my Talnar. And it holds really well. So, legs and positioning. This is how I do it. What I did was, I started here. I drilled a hole into the joint. The leg joint. That part goes on this, like so. So I drilled through here first, make sure I was centered, then put this in, then I drilled into there, and I drilled that through all the way center. Obviously, I got a little off there. All the way through that side. But then I did into here, but I didn't come all the way through. And this is the outside of the leg, so you won't see any brass rod or anything there. You technically won't see it on here either, because what I'm going to do is this rod goes through in there and locks it in place. And then I'm going to find my positioning, and once I do that, I will drill another rod up through this leg into this gear, and that will lock that in place. And of course I will epoxy it all together so it seals it really good. And then, like I said, the thing I need to do is I need to trim this rod down. I'm going to trim it just a little shorter, like literally like a 0.5 millimeter shorter than this, to be flush with this edge. Because then I'm going to go back with that putty and I'm going to fill that hole and smooth it all out on there. So it looked like I never drilled a hole in there. But I think that's going to put this guy being really super sturdy, man. Yeah. See? So, like I said, it helps me get my poses down. Sorry, I'm a little weird and off my game today. So, and then once I get that done, true. Yeah, keep it. Sorry, we're emptying out a freezer. We had an incident where a freezer came unplugged for a couple days. We didn't notice it, so we have to empty it out. And it's trash day, so today's the day to do it. Once I get the leg positions out, I'll be able to position the foot plate and then the toes on there and figure out those. And of course, those will be pinned too. They'll probably just be light pinned with a smaller rod or even a paper clip, 1 or 2 paper clips in there, just enough. Maybe I may go heftier with it because this is where all the weight's going to be on this model. So, and what else? These little bits will be another thing that I have to put on before I do the legs, because they go on there, and then it's got pistons for days that go around here that connect these together all across there. And I gotta make sure I don't move the legs too far one way or the other, and I can't trim the pistons down, if that makes sense. So really, guys, that's where I'm at right now. I'm going, like I said, super slow on this. I have all the leg parts in here, and I'm sure people are like, oh my gosh, look at that mess, Richard. That is just ridiculous. Well, that's how I roll. So, on that. I did get a toy in from my wife loves the Wish app, and she turned me on it, and I wish she didn't, but she did, because it's got too much cool stuff on it. But I found a pin vise that I like a lot. Oh, super lot. Because you put it on there, and you show my big fat hand in the way. What was that? Yeah. You've heard the ghost now too? And it's spring actuated, so you just push up and down, and it goes and it drills a hole in here. Now, because I'm not using both hands to kind of steady it and guide it, it does have a tendency to hop around if you're not careful. You're not alone. But it drills holes smooth and fast, and like I said, I really like it. It's, yeah, there we go. Pay no attention to the awkward motion of my hand. I think I got it for like a couple bucks on Wish. Boom. Drilled a nice little hole. And it doesn't, I've noticed so far, it doesn't have the tendency like some pin vices. You'll go so far into the thing and then it'll get stuck to where you'll just end up spinning and the drill bit won't move. This doesn't do that. This is a really cool thing. So, anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I've got for now. I'm going to go back to building this. The next time you see it, I should have both legs pinned in the pose that I want. And then I'll probably I will start working on the feet plate. And there's a lot of stuff, extra stuff that goes on here too. You know, you saw the toes. But then there's also these like armor platings that go on here. I'm going to leave those off in the beginning. Because once the legs are built, I will probably prime them. I'll prime it black. And start with there. And then I'll go on to building the upper torso. And work on some painting on this a little bit. And then prime the upper torso black too, after it's all built. It's going to be, like I said, a long process, a slow process. Because I want to get in there to where I do like oil things. Like work my painting techniques where I have like oil drippings and stuff running off these things. Where you have to get really close to it and you'll see extra little fine details I put in there. That's my goal with this. Is to really push myself. And if anybody wants to buy one and they're afraid to build it, feel free to send it to me. I will build it for you. A nominal fee. But I love resin and I love building these things. They're so much fun. Just hit me up on my Facebook page. Yep, shameless plug there. Guys, I love you all. I'm going to get off here and ramble. I'm going to build some stuff we got to clean up. So keep rocking that nerd life, my friends. I'll see you next time.